My dad actually asked me that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said, ano ba talagang ginagawa mo?
Since then, I've been so much more patient. I explain properly, and you know this.
Yes,
and you
yes,
know
I was
this.
just gonna say.
And you know this.
Ang hirap pantayan yung kwento.
Exactly. Oh.
No, because it's agonizing to watch someone cry on a close-up.
True.
Talaga ako dito.
I know, it's so weird.
Oo nga eh.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Ayan, si Miss Lee. Mackie.
Maki.
Mackie, oh. We go way back. We go way back.
I know.
Pero pag-uusapan natin. I'm so excited. I feel like I belong. I belong!
You do?
Yeah. I'm so excited to learn as someone na I feel like beginner sa film. Kaya I can't wait to share some thoughts with you guys. Are you ready?
Go, let's do this.
Oh, feeling ka ginajudge mo yung mga pag-light na mga lugar and everything.
Light in your house.
Lights in my house! Okay, let's go. Every film starts with a vision. And behind that vision is a pair of eyes skilled in painting with light. And so today, we sit down with some of the brightest, and I mean the brightest, the boldest, and the most brilliant cinematographers in the country. Welcome to Behind the Reel!
Pawisan ako dun sa brightest.
Boldest and
Boldest.
brightest.
Diba?
Baka ikaw yun.
Brilliant. Here we go. So, may I invite you all to please introduce yourselves, starting with Mackie over here and up to Sir Noel.
So, hello. I'm Mackie Galvez. I'm a cinematographer in film and advertising. I've been around since 2005. Every now and then, still here. And yeah, that's what I do.
Miss Lee.
Okay, hi. Hi, Kakki. I'm Lee, Briones-Meily. I'm a cinematographer. And what have I been doing? I was a photographer before.
Oh, yeah.
That was my first job. And I do documentaries, TVCs, mostly film. My first love. And content. TikTok lang hindi.
Soon.
For now.
For now.
And now, Miss Shayne.
Abangan natin yung TikTok.
Oo, mamaya na mismo.
Yun. So hello, I'm Shayne Sarte, also a cinematographer since 1998. So doing TVCs like Mackie and TVCs and feature films.
Eh?
Talaga.
Okay, hi, I'm Noel Teehankee. Been a DP locally since 2007. Happy to still be around, somewhat relevant. Yeah, and father of two.
Oh, yay! So let's take a moment to look back. I'm very interested to find out how you guys started in this career. Why don't we start with?
Okay. Yeah, I think, well, I guess same, parang our family was an avid parang film viewer experience. And then I think when I was growing up and watching films, so kunwari I'd see A Few Good Men, then I'd say I want to be a lawyer. And then I'd see Armageddon, I want to be an astronaut. And then I realized that the things I wanted to be were just because the movies were affecting me. And then slowly that came about a delusion that I wanted to be a director. So a lot of college people come in wanting to be directors, ganyan.
Yes,
and
yes.
then when you're finally broken up into group work, you're kind of forced to be, parang the skill set you already have from high school or from previous experience is kind of what you fell into. School photographer, school paper photographer.
Correct.
So, syempre, like the musicians became editors and scorers. And then since I had a school paper photographer background, I was put behind the camera. And then since then, I guess I just rode the wave and didn't do anything else.
Yes.
Yeah.
And grabe I just have to say, memorable yun kasi parang legendary yung batch niyo eh. Hindi. Kasi parang ikaw, King Palisok, di ba? Magkabatch kayo Pong Ignacio, di ba?
Same group.
It was always, they're always doing something or inviting the theater kids to be like, sali kayo sa film namin, may gagawin kami. So it was, ang galing, yun pala.
Yeah. So I really just fell into it. I had no plan. Until today, until I got here.
20 years di ba? After 20 years, nandito pa rin. Yay!
Yeah, still riding the wave.
Gusto ko yung A Few Good Men eh.
Oo nga, diba? A Few Good Men talaga. And now, Miss Lee.
I like to read a lot. So I was very quiet when I was a small girl, and yun nga, I don't really talk, hindi ako maingay. I like to watch stars, the moon, ganyan. And then my dad reads a lot, and my lola reads a lot. So no inkling from the province of what I want to be.
Okay.
Tingin lang sa stars, yun lang, and be quiet. And then the pressure of becoming a doctor. I wanted to be a doctor also.
Wow.
Because healing, I mean, at a young age, parang I don't know kung bakit gano'n yung feeling ko that, I want to be a doctor. So I had to follow my mom and sa pressure na, sige. So I was a pre-dentistry. But then, nakita ko yung pelikula ni Kidlat Tahimik, Perfume Nightmares. When I saw that, I said, this is what I want to do. Yes.
Ganun ka-clear.
Yes. Sumakay ako sa bus, umuwi akong Quezon, and I told my mom, I'm going to make films.
Oh.
And sinabunutan niya ako. And she said, magugutom ka. I mean, people in the province, diba? Lawyer ka dapat, doctor ka dapat, yung ganong klaseng work. And even in high school, nobody went to school to talk about films or arts. Pero matikas ang ulo ko, so I guess yun. And so ayun, just like Mackie, sige, diba? Shoot, I almost fainted when I printed my first set of photos, DLSU, Com Arts, parehas kami ni Shayne. But I was way ahead. Younger sister.
Not really.
And I just went on, and yun, I was very lucky, I think, in a way, kasi people would invest on a woman. Buti na lang Lee, kasi akala nila at some point lalaki ako. There was an incident na gano'n, parang, akala nila lalaki ako, pero hindi pala.
Okay.
So, but I got the job, so okay na yun.
Okay. Oh, I can't wait to dive in later on about the discussion of entering the industry na as one of the few female cinematographers. But I'm excited to discuss that with Miss Shayne also. Later on, we're gonna circle back to that. Miss Shayne.
Ang hirap pantayan yung
Exactly. That's a far better origin story.
Sobrang awakening. Sa akin kasi simple lang. Hindi, ako naman I'm from a family of lawyers. And nagkataon, yung may brother ako na now sa makeup artist, nag-com arts siya sa De La Salle. So parang yun yung naging path ko. Gumaya ako, so to speak. So kumbaga sa madalit salita, gumaya ako sa kanya.
Yes.
But, kumbaga in retrospect naman, I remember na growing up, yung family ko, sobrang movie fans lahat. Alam mo yon, yung nanay ko Noranya, yung gano'n, Sharon yan ako growing up, yung gano'n, yung mahilig kami sa movies, di ba? A Few Good Men si Mami. Ako talaga, grade 5, nanonood na ako ng Bagets sa sinehan. Then yung gano'n, yung talagang nanonood kami ng sine. Yun, so growing up. And then, my mom, in the 70s and in the 80s, nag-talent siya sa TV commercials. So mga prep ako, nasa set na ako ng TVCs, nasa set ako ng na basta na-expose na ako. Ako tsaka yung brother ko, kaming dalawa. So baka, I guess, baka yun yung naging start. Pero late ako, college na ako talagang napukaw, kumbaga. But vividly, I remember nung college, gusto ko talaga mag-operate. Yun yung...
Mag-operate ng
camera. Oo,
Okay,
ng camera.
Okay.
Yun. Medyo late ako. Pero medyo may ganung mga, ano tawag nito?
Parang
parang
na tayo ng life towards
push.
that. Yes.
Parang ganon.
And finally,
Yeah.
Sir Noel Teehankee.
I don't know how I'm gonna follow up all those origin stories, but like, I remember my very first cinema viewing experience, and that was I think 1989, and the first movie I ever saw was Empire Strikes Back, and that blew my mind. Now this was back in the time in the 80s where it took 4 years for movies to get from the US to Asia. So the first time I got to see it was in 1989, and that just blew my mind just in terms of the power of cinema. Now, since then, it's not like it was a conscious decision, especially in high school, to get in the film industry. But you kind of just stumble into it because it's always, I guess once you finish high school, once you get into college, you kind of just fall back into things that you really love, right? Outside of the pressure you have from family members to do what they believe you should do, it's important to really find the thing that you enjoy doing. So, I mean, I went to film school to become an editor, which didn't really pan out just because I couldn't lock myself in a room. And I just sort of gravitated towards the things that I loved on set, which was G&E, painting with light, and cinematography. Also, I mean, I like being told what to do. It's a lot easier when we help enact someone's vision.
Yes, okay. Yeah, so you're right about that. I think because the director will be the one providing the overall direction of the film, yes. And so cinematographers, and for those of our audiences watching, they might need help in realizing ano ba talagang ginagawa ng mga cinematographers. And we know that cinematographers play a huge role in making the film resonate with audiences. So how crucial is it in assessing a film's overall quality, and then how does cinematography really support the vision of the film? How can we simplify the explanation of cinematography para po sa mga nanonood, for people watching and learning from this? Yeah. How about, feeling ko napapaisip si Miss
Bilang guro.
Bilang guro. Yes. How about let's start with you, Miss Lee?
My dad actually asked me that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said, ano ba talagang ginagawa mo?
Recent na po ba to?
Nakikita ko yung pangalan mo, but ano talaga yung ginagawa mo? Alright. So, I mean, through the years, sabi ni Nestor Almendros, we do nothing and we do everything.
Yeah.
Well, we help. We help in interpreting visually. It's a visual medium.
Yes.
So kami yung tagalipat nung script, tutulungan namin yung director to transfer the written word visually based on his treatment. Okay. In collaboration with a team that, where your production designer is, your actors are. So, it's like what Noel was saying, you're not alone. Everyone's with you.
Yes.
So, and that's a big responsibility because it's both technical and artistic. Kunin mo. Yeah, ang laki ang vague at ang laki ng responsibility.
Yeah.
Both at the same time. So I think that's the simplest way of doing that. So they say we paint with light, so we take care of putting up all the lights in here. And then we also use the camera, of course, to capture everything. So the first experience is with a cinematographer. That's why the director, as we all know, would trust their cinematographers. Kailangan. Lalo na, I think, nung unang panahon na walang video assist. If the DOP says it's good, it means it's good. Kasi there's no way of checking it until we get the rushes the following day.
Okay.
Kasi we also operate.
Yeah, we see it.
Oo, okay, we see.
As in, requirement, lahat ng mga cinematographers talagang mag-operate ng camera.
Not
Hindi
really.
naman po.
Hindi naman.
Okay.
No. The first time I shot in the US, I was asked if I need an operator, and I said no, because I want to operate it. So it depends, di ba?
It depends.
But ngayon, I think the practice is maraming operators, camera operators.
Ah,
But sometimes we
okay.
still prefer to operate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different eh. Oo.
Yeah.
I guess, everyone
Everyone here
would prefer.
would prefer to
Oo.
operate.
Ako,
Miss Shayne, bakit mo
Ako
prefer na
gusto ko kasi medyo old school ako.
Yes!
Admittedly, hindi, ako yung tipong, yun nga, like yung sinabi ko kanina, back in college, gusto ko mag-operate. So, ako yung sumisilip pa with sa viewfinder. So, nung naging digital, medyo nag-adjust ako eh. Kasi, sometimes ang hirap, di ba? Pag digital yung viewfinder. But then, ako kasi like, pag nag-ooperate ako, and then nakasilip ako, sobra kong, sorry ang baduya, pero sobra akong nasa zone ng artista.
Oo.
Yung I could see kung saan ka pupunta, kung ano yung nararamdaman mo, yung nandun, yung naka, ano mo yun, yung naka, nandun ka eh.
nandun ka.
And then, when operating, kasi parang you have to be, parang you have to anticipate, you have to step. Yung ano ba, pag naglakad kang ganun, di ba, ay, hindi pwedeng mahuli ka eh, di ba? So parang pag nakasilip ako, pag ako yung nag-ooperate, iba eh, di ba? So, oo. Tapos parang iba yung pulso na pag konting pan, iba yung konting-konting pan, ang laki nung nagagawa pag ikaw yung cinematographer na nasa iyo yung emotion, yung vision ng director is clear sa'yo. Tapos parang merong nangyayari pag konting pihit lang ng camera, akala mo walang nangyari, pero alam mo yun, may nangyari. So ako, I mean, like Noel, Mackie, and Miss Lee, parang gusto namin talaga mag-operate eh.
Cannot not.
Cannot not. Yeah.
But it's good to have operators kasi para at least yung work nasi-spread mo rin, di ba? Nabibigyan ng chance yung
iba.
Yes.
And to add to that, please, Kakki, sometimes, this is with actors. Kabisado ko nung mga assistant cameraman ko. When the director says cut, I ask permission before we start filming. Di ko siya kinakat. Because sometimes, ang daming information that comes when the director says cut. Yes. So, alam yan ng mga assistant cameraman namin. Hindi kami hindi kinakat. And it works wonders sa editing. Wow. Yes.
I just want to say that, like, prior to working with Miss Lee on set, I didn't like talking to actors at all. And then I saw her in action. Because a lot of times actors don't hit their marks, they don't look the right way, they don't favor the light.
Nice.
But like after watching Miss Lee like approach an actor, talk to them and tell her what she needed for the scene to look good, it's just an eye opener. And my mind was blown. Since then, I've been so much more patient. I explain properly, and you know this. And you know this. And you know this. But before that, just like one wrong move, and I'd be like, this guy's on my list.
Although I have to say, working with you and a very good girl, diba? You were still very intense, no?
Oh, okay.
But yes, you were explaining.
Yeah.
You were really explaining to the actors kung ano yung kailangan. And the scenes were intense. The scenes were intense. They're dramatic, talagang physical. And you were there, and it was very, very helpful nga.
I
Para sa
owe
amin.
all of that to Miss Lee. That patience in talking to actors. It's
The DP kasi is the last, so even after the AD has left the blocking and stuff.
Yes.
It's the DP and operator that's left with you as the performer.
That's right.
So you can sense, and then especially the best actors, they can sense when the people who are all staring at them aren't connecting, and then it affects them. Eh. So parang, and then it took a while before agonizing sa akin mag-operate, especially when it's a high drama, because I've filled an ear cup with tears na from connecting to an actor. No, because it's agonizing to watch someone cry on a close-up.
true.
It's agonizing.
Sir, do you mind if I share a story? When we were shooting One More Chance, and back then it was film. So we were shooting with MOS cameras. For MOS cameras means that the film magazine wasn't padded for sound.
Okay.
So basically you would hear the constant churning of the film through the camera.
Okay.
And we were shooting the final breakup scene of Popo and Basha.
Yes.
And then after Direkati called cut, I look around and everybody's crying. And they're like, why aren't you crying? I was like, all I hear is tuk, 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 tuk. That's it.
When does it become, or does it ever become disruptive in the storytelling? cinematography should always complement storytelling. Yes, tama po ba? Or magkakaroon ba ng pagkakataon na magiging disruptive siya? Or it should never happen? Kasi you mentioned kanina na you guys are the ones connecting everything.
For me, and I guess for everyone,
Yeah.
every story has a different attack. Like, if I'm going to shoot a sci-fi, it will definitely look different if we shoot a love story, diba? Or if we shoot a TVC. So, when you say disruptive, there are directors who would want, I want a blue light on the right and a red light on the left with no motivation or reason at all. So, it becomes disruptive. It depends on your frame of mind. Like, for me personally, you know, I like natural light. I like something that's unobtrusive. Even, you know, if you don't need to move the camera, I don't move it, or I tell the director that it's not. I let other things move within the frame. But like what I said, I was asked once to have a blue light on the right and a red light on the left. And I had to ask my director why. Wala lang, gusto ko. You know, wala lang gusto ko. Bakit po? Diba?
Yes, yes.
Because
Why po, direct?
Why po?
like what Mackie was saying, you have to be connected. People cannot empathize to what they're seeing. It's something unnatural. But if you're shooting a sci-fi, diba?
Kailangan.
Yeah, kailangan. Pwede, diba? So we all try our best to lift our audience to a particular dimension where we will believe that we are there. Itinataas natin sila eh. You belong to the frame. You know, ride with us and watch this, diba?
Okay, can you share more about the changes and the development in terms of cinematography now? compared to
I have to
before?
defer to the OGs.
Oh yeah, our OGs. Yeah, especially in the Philippines, especially. So marami na bang changes na nangyari?
Yeah.
Yeah. And dala ba yun ng streaming platforms
Next
or
question.
hindi lang?
Hindi lang.
Hindi
But
lang.
yes, I think eventually doon naman siya papunta. Of course, it was filmed before. And inabutan pa naman natin. So, tingin kay Mackie.
Inabutan na.
Good.
So the changes in terms of equipment?
Yes.
In terms
Primarily.
of, okay.
Yeah, primarily. You know, when I interview students, diba, they would always say, we want to learn new cinematographic techniques. And to me, that was really a puzzle. Because to me, there's no new cinematographic
There's nothing new.
techniques. There's nothing new, only new equipment.
Yeah.
That's nice.
But the discipline and how you prepare for a project, the same.
Yeah.
You know, and even with if they say this is a docu, this is a TikTok, this is a feature, this is content, this is television, it's the same. You're telling stories visually. So the major change is in the equipment
Okay.
more than the practice, the discipline,
This is
the
opening up
art.
a whole new can
diba?
of worms, though, right?
On the-
No.
yes.
No, I'm really interested. Okay, so now that you talked about that,
Yeah.
what's the difference between a videographer and a cinematographer?
That's another thing. Yes. Oh, mahaba yun.
Okay.
The theories are the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Theories pareho pa rin. But, well, kami namang lahat, I think we all strive na yung cinematography disappears into the story. Parang
Yeah.
ganon.
Oo.
Pero dapat syempre memorable siya. Wag namang totally mag-disappear, di ba?
Yeah.
Pero with yung social media ngayon, may danger to be overstyled, di ba?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Too
Na yun,
processed, no?
yes, oo.
Too
So yun
processed.
din yung yun din yung medyo binabantayan namin.
Okay. Okay. But that's so hard, no? Kasi kailangan, it's a delicate balance, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Na kailangan hindi siya magsa-stand out masyado.
Oo.
Pero tamang-tama lang.
Akala mo
Pero
wala,
dapat
pero
maganda.
akala mo wala, pero
maganda.
meron.
But what's
Wala.
maganda is another thing. What's maganda, di ba,
Oo.
is another thing.
Okay.
It's a big debate.
Na as ang ganda ng sinabi niyo po about the new equipment. Does that mean also kapag bagong equipment, mas may budget?
The more expensive the camera doesn't necessarily mean it's the better camera.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Right?
That's true.
It's always in the skill of the person holding it.
Yeah.
But that being
Okay.
said, like the greatest thing, and I think we touched on that before, is that now people have more access to gear. You know, in our time, to buy a film camera, to buy lights,
Could never.
this is impossible.
Yeah.
Right? Getting it over here, the importation cost is
Yeah.
so restricted.
Yeah.
Right? But now with everything that's all this stuff, you know, so many people can try new things. And that's what's amazing, because it's put us in a position where we grow or we die.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
kids are trying out new things.
Yes.
Even on TikTok, they're in-camera transitions.
Yeah.
It's stuff we used to do in film a long time ago.
Yes, that's true.
But we don't tell anybody because
Everybody, we're just getting warmed up. Trust me, you wouldn't want to miss what comes next on the second part of this episode. So stay tuned only here on Behind the Reel. Ooh, pause.
what makes a movie Filipino? I don't know if
So
we have
back-
time for that.
so
No, but
back- There's this push to be more Pinoy rather than to chase, you know, an LA feeling.
Like my boys, after a handheld shot, nagmamadali na yung, ma'am, pahingi ng camera.
Same din yung wish ko na yung interest sa craft mag-continue with the younger generation.
When you find your voice, then you can fight for what you believe. And then never be afraid to say that you're a Filipino.